Hello, and welcome to video number 3 in the Aligning with Universal Laws series. I am so happy and honored that you've been watching these videos, and I've been loving the messages and comments from so many of you who are enjoying them. As I briefly mentioned in an earlier video, I have been an intuitive coach and reality creation course creator for over a decade. But before doing this work, I was a licensed attorney in 2 states, California and Washington State. And interestingly enough, my introduction to my first universal law came when I was in my second year of law school. Like many people, the gateway law for me was the law of attraction. And I don't know if you had this same experience when you first watched The Secret or when you first learned about the law of attraction, but the moment I learned it, I felt like I had always kind of known it. I just didn't consciously know it. It resonated in my body as a very high level truth. I recognized the concept on a soul level. And then after a few years of working with it, getting conscious of my thoughts and beliefs and what I was feeling, now if I were to go back and watch The Secret, I would think, wait, there's people on this planet who still don't know that it works this way? I thought this was common knowledge. That was the process of integrating a universal law. I learned it, or rather recognized it. I worked with it. I faced some tests around it, moved through heavy doubts, eventually mastered it. And now it's just a fact of life that things work this way. And absolutely everything in my world reflects that. And this is what I've experienced with all of the universal laws that I would eventually go on to learn. I began working with the law of attraction during my time in law school. And then a few years later, I really started getting into the law of vibration so I could master how energy works and how to match my own energy to the vibration of the reality I wanted to have. Everything I learned about these 2 laws during that first phase of my spiritual growth brought me closer into the ability to consciously create my reality. And then about 7 years after law school, when I had already left my job as an attorney, trained as an energy healer, and had been running my own business for a few years, I began working with some mentors who taught me some of the lesser known universal laws and how to work with them. And with each lesson, my mind was blown. I remember thinking every week, oh my gosh, everybody needs to know these. This is required knowledge for being human. Every healer, every coach, everybody needs to know these and pass them along. They're a vital piece of this whole puzzle of figuring out how to be happy and successful. And learning the lesser known laws was where I was able to go from dabbling in conscious reality creation, having a win here and there, to being able to play really big in consciously creating my reality, to get my ego and programming totally out of my way, to step into the gifts I had and to share them with the world, just totally unencumbered, to be able to create money with total ease and to pull in all of the soul aligned clients who were a yes to working with me. Learning the rest of the universal laws catapulted me into an experience where it's normal, it's my default setting to not just work with the current, but to become the current. With a lot of personal growth techniques and programs, people tend to focus on whether they work or not. And the amazing thing about universal laws is that they're not a technique. They're not a method I'm trying to teach you. You don't have to worry about making them work. By their very nature, they already work. All you have to do is remember them and soak yourself in the energy, the vibration of the information so you can move with the awareness of how things are operating and make your moves and plans accordingly. When you learn each universal law, you'll very likely have a strong feeling of this feels really true. And anytime it doesn't, you have an opportunity to examine your patterns and look into why your programming conflicts with the universal law. When you learn about universal laws and you align your energy with them and integrate them in all contexts in your life, you start to feel all of the pressure and stress and illusions of the human world dissolving from your body. And you can feel safe and excited and clear about why you're here and how this place works. You start to feel very clear about which desires have been placed on your heart from the universe versus which desires have been fueled by your ego and programming. And you start to get in sync with the natural flow of the universe, working with it instead of against it. And from this place, you're vibrating in harmony with miracles, synchronicities, and big wins because you and the universe are heading in the same direction. In fact, you ultimately realize that you and the universe are merged together and have never actually been separate. This is where you start to align with the ultimate universal law, the law of one. The law of one states that we are all in oneness and nothing is separate from anything else. Once you really study the ins and outs of this law and integrate your awareness with it, you don't just know this, but you can feel it. You can feel that we're all in complete unity. And in this unity, this oneness with all that is, all paradoxes are resolved. All that is broken is healed, and all that is forgotten is remembered. When people align with the law of one, the common response is that they don't feel like they're learning it as much as they're remembering it yet again. Waking back up to this essential truth helps you to collapse your false perception that you're separate from everything and everyone. A perception of separation is the cause of all suffering. And when you wake back up to unity and oneness, when you learn about and align with the law of one, this is when suffering ends and true joy, purpose, and enthusiasm for being here begins. And I can't wait to go deeper into this law in my next Universal Law School course because it's a life-changing law. But again, all of the universal laws are life-changing. When you understand how the universe is naturally operating, you don't have to play by all the rules you've learned here on Earth about how things have to work. You're no longer bound by the limitations of your culture, your race, your family, your country, the economy, or what you've been taught. You bypass all of the perceived limitations of your group and the perceptions of most of humanity. You can trust the universe because you know you're not separate from it. You can feel the perfect mix of being attached and detached from your desired outcomes. You're never tortured by not having something. You don't just know, but you can feel your true power to change your circumstances. When you align your energy with the universal laws and you start working with the universe instead of against it, it is my experience that you can create heaven for yourself right here on Earth. And that is why it's so important to me that I get these laws out into the world so more people can learn them and align their energy with them and really apply them in all of life's situations, in all contexts. And as I said earlier in this video, as soon as I learned all of the lesser known universal laws, the first thought I had was, everybody needs to know these. This is required information for anyone who is living in this universe. It's so much easier to operate as a human being when you know how the universe is naturally operating. And so this is why I took all of the information I've learned about these laws from various courses, mentors, books, and teachers, and I've created really power-packed lessons and experiences so that my clients and students can not just learn these laws, but also hear examples that illustrate how they work and start aligning their energy with them and start applying them in their life right away. And what's really cool is that I've had the unique opportunity of really having to stand in the truth of these laws and kind of lawyer my way through them when real people, my private clients, present situations that challenge them. And what I've found so far is that even in the face of strong pressure from a material world that tries to invalidate these universal laws and strong individual ego programming and perceptions that conflict with them, so far, these laws always hold up as the highest truth available in a moment. By navigating through so many individual circumstances with clients, I've personally been able to really stand in and solidify my own alignment with these laws, to feel the nuances, to really buy in and work with them, and to help others release what's in their own way of aligning with them. Doing this work with universal laws has been a really amazing full circle experience in my own career, and I'm always so excited to pass everything along that I know so that you guys can learn from what I've extracted in my practice and apply it in your own life to consciously create your own highest and best reality. And moving forward, hopefully some of you will teach these laws to your own communities. In the next video, I'm going to share an offer for my live 3-month Mastering Universal Laws online program. Be sure to watch your email box or bookmark this page or this video series so you can come back here and check it out. Once I open the cart for this program, it will only be open for 5 days. So if you're someone who wants to master universal laws with me live for the next 3 months, and you're feeling ready to saturate yourself in high frequency information, align your energy with the way the universe is naturally operating, learn some advanced techniques for creating your reality, and study important spiritual concepts that you can teach to your own clients or your friends, be sure to watch out for the next video. In the meantime, I would love to hear from you in the comments. And what I would like to know is, when did you learn about the law of attraction? I am assuming this was the first universal law you ever learned, and I'm curious, did it resonate as truth when you first learned it? Or did it feel like a foreign concept that you had to buy into? I'm curious to know how you felt internally in your mind or in your body when you first learned a universal law. So let me know. And once again, if you know anyone who would enjoy this complimentary video series, please share these videos with them. My goal is to spread information about universal laws far and wide so that we can live on a planet where more people are working with the universe instead of against it. I'll see you in video number 4.